Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWineRadio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there. Today I'm very eager to learn where in the world is Pantelleria of Italy. And joining us today on Wine and Dine is Becky Sue Epstein, international editor and author. She writes about wine, food, travel, spirits, architect. Oh my gosh, you've got to check out her website. The new changes, BeckySueEpstein.com, that I have link up to. Beautiful, beautiful photographer. She has to add photographer to her lineup as well, but I love the new lineup. So where in the world is Pantelleria?
Hi, Lynn. It's Pantelleria.
Oh,
we are in Italia.
Okay, Pantelleria.
Actually, Pantelleria. Actually, we are closer to Africa than we are to Italy. I'm on a little island just off the coast of Tunisia, which belongs to the region of Sicily. It's a 6-hour ferry to Trapani, or a 1-hour plane ride. And there's a big Arab influence, obviously, since we're right off the coast of Tunisia, which I just learned was the ancient kingdom of Carthage, or city of Carthage. I never knew.
Oh, wow.
It was Tunisia. So I'm here learning about, experiencing the Mediterranean diet, and in a sort of extreme way, because this is a very, very arid, poor island, and they have very, very little food here. They have grapes, olives, and capers, and very little else. So the people here, I guess, are pretty healthy.
Oh my gosh! And so people don't even have any area for grazing their chickens, their cows, or pigs, or something like that?
No, it's a volcanic island, and it's hard rock all over the place. And apparently the currents are very bad, so there's not a whole lot of fishing.
Really?
The currents in the water are so bad that not a lot of people even came here. There were centuries it was uninhabited throughout history.
Well, I can't believe that we have good phone connection here, because you are so far away and out in the middle of the ocean, almost there. And how long did it take you to get there from Boston?
You have to fly from either from Rome or Palermo in Sicily. So you have to go from Boston to Rome, and Rome to Pantelleria. There are flights, like 1 or 2 daily flights in the summer. This is after the sea, so they're kind of tapering off. I don't know who flies in the winter, but
okay.
Huge storms sweep over the island, and everybody so the ferry running, and people are wondering whether the planes are going to get here so they can take off. So they're very dramatic, these storms, crashing thunder. I actually dropped an entire cup of coffee on my foot. It was so loud, the thunder overhead today.
Oh, wow.
And you can see we're right on the ocean. The waves are several yards high. I mean, it was flat calm when we arrived. And the last 2 days, it's been just like another world.
What if you drive from one side of Pantelleria to the other, what kind of a distance, how many miles or kilometers from one side to the other?
I think the island is about 12 miles long, but you can't just drive in a straight line because you have to go zigzagging around the coast or around the hills just above the coast.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if there are any roads that go all the way across. And it's just, it is taking a lot of motion sick pills if you were on this trip, Lynn, I'll tell you.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, as you're talking, I'm actually thinking that in the back of my mind. So with that kind of volcanic rocky soil, do people even keep goats for milk and yogurt sort of a thing?
I have not I've seen one animal, and it was a horse, but a couple of cows because we've had some local milk, and it's not sheep's milk. But, there really isn't a lot of source of protein here. A little bit of fish from the sea, very good fish. So, they're really keeping to like an extremely limited diet. Pasta, and they use breadcrumbs and almonds as a condiment. They use texture as a condiment, which is really interesting because they just didn't have anything else. What can we put on this pasta? We've got olive oil and nothing. So I toast up some bread or chop up some almonds to give it a little texture to add to their daily pasta. It's pretty severe here.
How about grapes? You said the grapes, olives, and capers. So are people making wine out of the grapes that they're growing? Or are they drying the grapes and using them for raisins? What are they doing with the grapes?
Well, grapes are the reason I've always wanted to come here. Ever since I heard Pantelleri, they make an amazing sweet wine out of dried grapes, large Muscat of Alexandria grapes, which are very good as raisins as well. But what they do is they dry them for a few days or a few weeks, depending on how much humidity is in the air, and then they also they pick some more grapes and press those, and they can press the dried grapes in with the new grapes, and they end up, the combination makes a very wonderful balanced wine, because when you pick the grapes earlier, they have more acidity.
Okay.
And then later they have more sweetness, so combine the acidity and you get wonderfully balanced, high sugar but doesn't taste like it. It's got lemony flavors or orange rind or even some nutty tea flavors. There's obviously every vintage is different, and they can only make a little bit of this. There may be 10, 15 people making wine on this island. A couple come over from Sicily. They actually have to make the wine here, but they're allowed to transport it to Sicily to bottle it there, because there's just we did see one person bottling here, but there's it's like all these clinging to the edge of this rock. Although the houses are made of black rock with no windows because the climate is so severe, and they all have domed roofs on the houses, and they all have channels to catch rainwater because there's just no water here at all. The grapes grow in clumps around in little depressions because they have to catch the dew in order to get enough water.
Wow. Oh my gosh!
It's very serious.
What color are the grapes used to make? Muscat Alexandria. Is the resulting wine like an amber color?
Yeah, they're white grapes.
Okay.
They are, and they call them Zibibbo. Zibibbo is, I guess, the African or Arabic word for the Muscat grapes, and sometimes they now make some dry wines of Zibibbo grapes. And people are starting to grow a little bit of red, a little bit of other whites, but they have to adhere to this, very severe climate where they only get, I don't know if they get, matters of, I can't press millimeters to inches, so I don't know how it is, but it's very, very few inches per year. Except, of course, yesterday and today when they probably got their whole allotment of storm water when we were here.
Oh, wow. But,
there's just nothing. They build walled gardens, high walls around all their trees to keep in the moisture so the terrific winds don't blow the moisture off of the leaves. All of the big caper industry. Capers, by the way, have antioxidants. Who knew? They just dry them with sea salt, and capers have to be set in depressions in the ground, and they grow kind of, they have long, like maybe 2 or 3 foot branches, kind of a bush, but flat. And even the olive trees, they tie the branches to rocks so that they can't grow too high, because the winds will water out of the completely dehydrate the leaves.
Let me ask you real quick before we're almost out of time here. Do any of the wine, the dessert wine from Pantelleria, come to the United States, find their way to U.S. or Europe?
Yes, Donna Fugata from Sicily.
Yes.
Donna Fugata's Ben Rie. They're wine called Ben Rie, which means, I think, son of the wind, as you can imagine here.
Okay.
And that does get to the U.S. It's really a beautiful one. I had the 2009 the other night. Orange peel flavors.
Oh, wow. Okay, wonderful. Oh, my gosh, this is so cool. And how many more days are you there?
We leave tomorrow night.
Well,
it takes 2 days to get here and 2 days to get back.
Well, you fulfilled your dream or a goal to go to Pantelleria, and we thank you so very much for joining us today from this very interesting island.
Okay, thanks, Lynn. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Okie dokie. We will, of course, have links up for you to learn more, and I thank you for listening to Wine and Dine. Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested, iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. I want in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.